The sun rose over the enchanted forest once again. Snow White opened the cottage door and smiled at the beautiful morning. "Time for more letters," she said happily. Grumpy, Happy, and Bashful were already waiting outside. "We're ready," they shouted together. Rosie the squirrel ran down from her tree branch. Oliver the owl flew to his usual spot and hooted twice. "Let me hear what you remember," sighed Snow White. The three dwarfs stood in a line and recited together, "A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. "Wonderful, you remember all 9 letters," said Snow White proudly. "Today we'll learn J, K, and L," she announced, opening her magical book. Golden sparkles flew from the pages. "Our first letter is J," said Snow White. The letter J appeared in the air, jumping and bouncing with energy. "J is for ... jar." Snow White held up a glass jar filled with golden honey. "See this jar? We keep honey in it." The dwarfs gathered around to look at the jar. "It's shiny," said Happy. "I can see through it," said Bashful. "Can we taste the honey?" asked Grumpy hopefully. Snow White laughed. "After we learn. First, let's practice." "JJ jar," said Snow White. She tapped the jar gently, and it made a pretty sound. "Ting ting, JJ jar," repeated the dwarfs. Happy picked up an empty jar and looked inside it. Bashful found a small jar with flowers in it. Grumpy held the honey jar carefully. "Jars hold special things," explained Snow White. Rosie found a tiny jar and tried to fit inside it, making everyone laugh. Oliver watched from above and hooted, "J for jar." "Perfect," said Snow White. "Now let's learn the next letter." "The next letter is K," announced Snow White. The letter K appeared, glowing with silver light. "K's for ... key." Snow White pulled out a large golden key from her pocket. "This is a key. We use it to lock and unlock our door." She walked to the cottage door and put the key in the lock. Click. She turned it one way. Click, she turned it the other way. "KK," said Snow White. The dwarfs were fascinated. "Can I try?" asked Happy, jumping up and down. Snow White gave him the key carefully. Happy turned the key in the lock. Click, click. "It's like magic," he said with wonder. Then Bashful tried. His small hands held the key gently. Click. "I did it," he whispered proudly. Even Grumpy wanted to try. "Let me lock it," he said. He turned the key and smiled. "KK key. Keys keep our home safe," explained Snow White. "They're very important." Rosie pretended to turn a tiny invisible key. Oliver nodded wisely from his branch. "KK. Key, everyone said together. Excellent," cheered Snow White. "Now for our last letter today," said Snow White. "It's the letter L." The letter L appeared, glowing with soft blue light. "L is for leaf." Snow White picked up a beautiful green leaf from the ground. "Leaves grow on trees. They're everywhere in our forest." She held the leaf up to the sunlight, and it glowed like an emerald. "L leaf," said Snow White. The dwarfs looked around and saw leaves everywhere, on trees, on the ground, floating in the breeze. "There are so many leaves," said Happy, gathering a handful. Bashful found a red leaf. "This one is my favorite." Grumpy found a yellow leaf. "Mine is bigger." They collected leaves of different colors: green, red, yellow, orange, brown. "Each leaf is special and different," said Snow White. The wind blew gently and leaves danced through the air. Rosie caught a falling leaf with her tiny paws. Oliver caught a leaf on his beak and it balanced perfectly. "LL leaf!" Everyone shouted happily. They threw leaves in the air like confetti. Leaves swirled all around them in a beautiful dance. "Leaves are wonderful gifts from the trees," said Snow White. "You've learned 3 more letters," said Snow White with joy. The letters J, K, and L floated above them, shining brightly. "That's 12 letters now," she said. "You're halfway through the alphabet." "J is for jar," said Grumpy, holding the honey jar carefully. K is for key, said Happy, pretending to turn a key. L is for leaf, sighed Bashful, waving his red leaf in the air. All the friends celebrated together. They danced with jars in their hands. They jingled the key to make music. They tossed leaves into the air like magic. You're all amazing learners, said Snow White proudly. The dwarfs jumped up and down with excitement. Rosie climbed the tree and dropped leaves from above like rain. Oliver flew in circles, catching leaves on his wings. Learning letters is the best, shouted Happy. I know so many words now, said Bashful confidently. When do we learn more? Asked Grumpy eagerly. Tomorrow, promised Snow White. We'll learn N and O next. Hooray! Everyone cheered. The forest seemed to celebrate with them. Birds sang, butterflies danced, and leaves swirled in the golden afternoon light. Snow White looked at her 3 little students and smiled. I'm so proud of all of you, she said warmly. And they all hugged together, happy and excited for tomorrow's lesson. Subscribe and like to learn letters MN and O next.